So today's video, I'm just planting some trees and I said I'd make a fast video just to go through about the process I use when planting bare root trees. Another great thing that you can plant and you don't really have to worry about trees like vegetables. You plant them once and they'll grow pretty much forever until and you get a yield of fruit off them every year. So let's have a look there now of what we're going to do and the process for planting. So we have 9 trees here. We have a variety of apples, pears and cherries. A few different varieties of apples. So we bought them, they're all on an M9 rootstock. They're bare root as well. So what that means is bare root means they don't come potted. They came wrapped in plastic with a small amount of soil around the roots to keep them intact. So the thing about bare root as well, they tend to grow more vigorously as soon as they're planted into their final position, which is wherever you plant them. Another thing is the M9 rootstock. So if you can see this one here, for example, this here is the M9, the rootstock, and this is the actual tree that's grafted on. So this is a rootstock that was grafted, and this is a dwarf rootstock, and then the fruit tree is attached to that and it's let to grow. So if you take an apple seed, for example, and you plant it into the ground, any apple seed, you may not get an apple tree that is true to the variety of the apple that you're eating. And also another thing with that is you might get a big massive tree. Like on these trees now, they grow 2 meters max, so they're a dwarf variety. So with a bit of care you could even keep it a bit smaller, so all the apples can be harvested by hand. They're pretty easy. Another consideration with fruit trees, and something that people may or may not know as well, is most fruit trees aren't self-pollinating. Okay, so if you want to grow cherries, you need to get more than one cherry tree. If you want to grow apples, pears, all the same, you need to get a pear. Sorry about that cheap pun, but I couldn't resist myself. So if you are getting fruit trees, buy a variety of them. We've just got 2 different types of cherry here. We've got 3 or 4 different types of 3 different types of apples, and we've got just 1 variety of pears. We're going to plant them here around our it's part of our chicken system that we're installing. We're redesigning our chicken system as well with a bit more permaculture in mind. So the fruit trees are not only going to be for us, they're also going to be for our chickens. So let's have a look now at actually planting them. Okay, so here's our hole now that we've dug for our tree. This here now is a conference pear, and that's going to be planted into this hole. The hole is 24 centimeters in diameter. It's inside our chicken pen, so it's going to need some additional protection as well. What I'm going to do here now is I'm going to plant this. It's got plenty space here for the roots, but what I don't want with this tree, I don't want to bury the rootstock completely. I want to be just up to the end of the graft, to where the conference pear joins the M9 rootstock. So I just need to be a bit conscious. If I really want to be fussy about it, I can put that in here like this, and I can bury it up to this point. So I'll just move the earth in. So I'm going to firm this in now. I'm not going to really stomp it in. I want it to be able to move around the roots, so I don't want to compact the soil too much. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a firm in, not too much, just firming in it just a small bit. So as well, when you get your bare root trees from the shop, you're better off hydrating them as much as you can before you plant them. So if you can stand them into a bucket of water for 24 hours, that will fit. Like, you don't know like how long they've been in transport or how long they've been sitting wherever you've bought them for, or if you've been sitting at home when you get them. You want them to be hydrated as best you can. So sit them in a bucket of water, let the whole tree absorb as much fluid, as much water as you can, as soon as you get your tree. So I literally just found this old tree post in a pile of sticks over in the back of the garden, so I'm going to use this to support the tree. So when tying it on, it's better off. It's handy that this had a rubber strap, but they actually are the best kind of strap to use rather than tie it with a piece of rope or something like that. If you tie it with rope tends to cut into the tree as it grows. If we put on this this strap, it can be adjusted, it can be opened and tightened, and it has that little bit of flexibility as well. There's a lot of surface area on this as well, whereas a rope doesn't have the same surface area, and rope tends to cut into the bark. So I'm going to put this on here, and now that's about it. I'm going to mulch around the end of this now with some compost, and then my next main concern is protecting this from the cheeky chickens, because if this is left in the chicken yard like this, it's going to get destroyed. So I'm going to I've got some mulch here behind me that the chickens have been making, some compost that's going to go around it, and I'm going to put a temporary ring until the tree gets a bit bigger and a bit more established. But I have a plan for this area anyway. It's going to be fenced off temporarily for the chickens for the next few weeks. So more to see about that in a few coming videos. So as you can see, I put that collar around the tree. It's just a piece of a blue barrel that was in the garden. We actually made cut a barrel in half and made a pond to increase the biodiversity out of the other half. And out of this offcut, I'm just going to put this in, and I'm going to mulch around it with some of this compost. If I didn't have this, I'd be using 1-inch box wire. I probably wouldn't have the same diameter. I'd probably make it a little bit narrower. Hopefully a chicken just doesn't go in here. I might have to cover over the top with some wire as well. I'm not sure yet. No, so that's it for the bare root trees. So if you enjoyed this video, same as always, you might give it a like. I'd love to hear any feedback that people may have about this, or if you've done something similar, or if you have any ideas for permaculture chicken run or on planting bare root trees. I'd love to hear about them in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.